How a lost phone and no kings led to possibly the best 24 HRS of my life. I've just walked back to my place and have to share my experience about what I can only describe as a romance novel come to life, at least for me. I 32M, regularly attend concerts myself. At my age, it's hard to make plans with my friends. The majority of them are married, have kids, or would rather have a game night or hit up a dive bar. There's nothing wrong with any of that, by the way. I enjoy that too from time to time, but as a single guy living on his own, I still want to enjoy my time out and get as much as I can out of this life. That being said, I had tickets to a hardcore show in Brooklyn this weekend, and since the protests were happening, figured I'd get there early to join the crowd before the show. Parking was almost impossible to find, but I have a spot by these warehouses close to the venue I can always rely on. I parked my car and headed towards the park where I saw the protests happening. As I'm making my way to the crowd, I notice a familiar face. As I get closer, I start to giggle to myself because I recognize who it is. My friends and I roast a buddy of ours back home because he regularly tweets at this TikTok creator with his horrible attempts at flirting. The guy's is a year younger than me, and he can't help his horniness. It's actually impressive how a 31-year-old union mechanic has a libido that would rival Stifler from American Pie. We all have a laugh out of it every now and then. Anyway, there she is. She's just as beautiful in person, but I'm here for a cause I'm passionate about, and I'm not about to act like a fanboy. We start doing our chants. I make friends with some fellow protesters and some people who are going to the same show I am. As we walked, the crowd was so big we all kinda stuck to our own group of people, which meant I was in the vicinity of this woman constantly. Next thing I know, I hear a commotion and some arguing breaks out. Somebody is mouthing off to our group, and it looks like a fight is about to break up. I don't consider myself to be a tough guy, but with tension so high I wanted to make sure things didn't escalate, so I find myself at the front of the commotion. I try to de-escalate the situation, and the guy on the opposite side shoves me. My phone falls out of my hand, and before I can try to recover it, the people behind me immediately shove him back. I live in New Jersey. I start to panic. I don't know my way around Brooklyn, and I absolutely cannot lose my phone in case of an emergency. Sure, I can find my way around, but it's not ideal, especially in a situation such as this. As I'm looking for my phone, I hear a voice say, "Did you lose your phone?" I turn around, and it's her holding it up. I was so relieved in the moment I didn't even register who it was right away. I thanked her and tried to get back to my group of new friends I made, but in the commotion the crowd kept moving and I couldn't find them. I decide to keep walking, and a friend of the TikTok girl asks me, "Did that guy try to punch you back there?" I responded he definitely wanted to, but I guess this is a crowd for equal rights asterisk and asterisk lefts. I'm very aware this is a corny joke, but to my surprise it worked. Almost instantly TikTok girl laughs and my confidence skyrockets. I decide to introduce myself, and she introduces herself as C. As we're walking, I become friendly with her group. Turns out C is considering moving here from LA and is staying here for the summer. Her friend group was really cool to be around, and we all hit it off pretty quickly. Some background info on me: I'm normally a pretty introverted guy. I'm actually in therapy and working on improving my confidence. On top of that, a girl I met on a dating app broke things off a couple weeks ago, and my confidence really took a hit. There's a post on my page for the nosy. Lastly, I'm an average-looking guy with a dad bod. I'm not tall, I went bald in my early 20s, and I have tattoos. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I'm aware of that. I don't just meet women in the wild like this. That being said, I can't believe what is happening right now. As we're all talking, I'm catching what feels like a friendlier than normal vibe from her. She's asking me questions, and when I crack a joke here and there, she laughs at everyone. Before I know it, C and I are walking together behind the group as the sun is starting to set. Every now and then I'll catch her friend looking back at us and smiling. I can't believe how this day is playing out. We talk about music, tattoos, and being in therapy. She's also really into art, which led to a great conversation about local museums. In the midst of it, all my watch starts to go off, and I realize I totally forgot I was here for a concert. I tell her how much fun I had, but I really wanted to catch this band, and I have to make sure my secret parking spot is still secure. I hated that I had to leave, but I figured WT the very least I'd SK for her number. She smiles and tells me absolutely. As she hands me her phone, her friend chimes back, "And where do you think you're going?" I nervously laugh and let her know I'm illegally parked and I'm here for a concert. She asks who I'm here to see, and I'm met with that awkward moment most hardcore fans are familiar with. Trying to make your music taste sound normal, and being slightly embarrassed telling others you listen to grown men barking like dogs. We're just gonna grab some pizza after this, but that sounds like a fun way to let off steam, C tells me with a smile. She looks back at her friends, and before I know it, we're all headed to the venue. I'm filling them in on what I can about hardcore, punk, and what to expect at this type of show. I'm genuinely terrified of what the crowd could be like, but I'm also excited somebody is showing me this kind of interest. We make it in time for the last two bands, and we had an absolute blast. Her guy friends were stage diving, and C really took a liking to the music. She even bought a t-shirt and vinyl of the band I came to see. After the show, I get a phone call and excuse myself for a second. When I walk back, I notice they're all huddled together and collectively look at me when I'm close. "You have anywhere to be after this?" one of the guys asks. I tell them not exactly, but it is Father's Day tomorrow and I have to check on my car real quick. "I'll go with you," C says to me. I look at the group for permission and give her a look like, "Are you sure?" In hindsight, that probably looked suspect, but as the only guy in a family of sisters, I wanted to make sure everyone knew I could be trusted. As we start to walk off, I said F it, and I went for it. I reached my hand out and our fingers interlocked. It sounds so corny, but this felt good, right even. We get back to the venue, and I'm invited back to their friend's apartment. Normally, I'd never do this, but considering I know this woman has a small social media following, it felt kinda safe. They even had an empty parking space for me, so we pile into my ride. To my surprise, she reaches back for my hand and isn't hiding it from her friends. I'm in complete shock this is happening, and I'm trying my hardest to contain my smile and play it cool. We get to her friend's place, and it's a lot more spacious than I imagined an NYC apartment to be. They order pizza, and C and I smoke a joint outside. She is so fun to talk to. Our conversation felt like poetry. Each word complimenting the previous one and so many laughs in between. She's so funny and intelligent, and I'm developing a crush on a woman I met just hours ago. She puts the new vinyl away and she's me her music. She's into a lot of pop and indie, but her taste is awesome. I'd like to say it was the weed, but as we're listening to music, I walk up to her and just go for a kiss. She kisses me right back, and I can feel her smiling as we do. I cannot believe this is happening. Suddenly, my insecurities start rushing back into my head, followed by imposter syndrome. "You don't belong here, I think. You're a guy from the suburbs. This woman was a literal model, and you're moving way too fast. You're gonna blow this." Shout out to anxiety for never letting me enjoy a moment ever. As my anxiety is in overdrive, she kills it suddenly. She puts her hand on my cheek and holds my hand again before we pull away. "You may not belong here, but I'm going to make the most of every second of this, I think." We head back to the living room where her friends are pouring wine and playing Jenga. We hang out for a few hours, and I had the best time with a group of complete strangers. So much so, I realize I'm in no condition to drive home. Before I can even say anything, one of the girls says to me, "You can crash in our guest room if you'd like, by the way." Again, a very stupid decision to make in hindsight, staying at a random person's place, but I don't always make the best decisions when alcohol is involved. Thankfully, this is a wholesome story. The night is winding down and people start heading to bed. C puts on a comedy special on YouTube and we hang out on the couch. I know I've spent the majority of this story being pretty detailed, but this was such an intimate moment, I'd rather keep that between us. What I will say is we didn't have sex or anything, but I was reminded how much I miss cuddling. When I woke up, it was still pretty early in the morning and I didn't want to overstay my welcome. I kissed C on the forehead, pulled the blanket over her and sent her a text saying how much fun I had. The drive home felt like a fever dream. I still can't believe what happened. I went straight to my parents, slept in my childhood bed, and had the second best sleep of the day. Who knows where things will go, but I can safely say there are some pretty magical experiences out there, and I'm glad one happened to me. Don't forget to like and follow for more.